So when it comes to the final episode of My Dress Up Darling, there's so many different points that I want to definitely hit on, especially because this is the end or the finale of an anime that's just so freaking special, and definitely the best anime in my personal opinion of the winter season, and probably for 2022 this will definitely be top 3 if not the best new anime of 2022. And I think that almost everybody who is watching it, surrounding it, who has been enveloped by it can completely agree. Now, the end of the anime, I kind of want to start there, and then we'll kind of make our way back to it. But the end of the anime was definitely satisfying and then not satisfying at the same time. Now, there was 2 endings essentially this week to the finale of My Dress Up Darling. We have the firework finale, where Gojo has finally, I guess, kind of come in tune or realized what his real feelings were for Marin this whole entire time, right? He's thinking back to himself on what a fantastic time he's had during this year, and what year he could have had if things had been progressing and going the same way that they were for so long. And that he's finally got to not only do a bunch of first for the first time, but he's also being able to experience a whole new side or a whole new different lifeline that he just hadn't been able to experience before. And what I mean by that is, if everything kept going, he would have continued to, and he realizes himself, right? He would have continued to have been in his house, been secluded, been working on his Hina dolls, right? He would have not had any friends, not have any life experiences, not had any socialistic experiences, not have this relationship that he's going to hold dear from now, but then for the rest of his life, he would have not had any experiences, and he can equate all of that, and that can all circle back into one person, and that is him meeting Kitagawa, meeting Miran, right? So I love that. And then, she has that moment to where she hurts her feet, and I love how she takes advantage of that moment, and she's like, "You're gonna carry me," and he ends up carrying her. And again, they share that moment where they're talking to each other, and she was like, "Okay, we're gonna come back and we're gonna do this next year," and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna come back and we're gonna do it every year," and that's that that verbal commitment to each other, that this isn't the first, this isn't the last, we're gonna continue to do this kind of forever, that committal non-committal conversation, right? It's like they're committing to each other during those moments there. Then you had the credits happen. I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna end on that. And then you had the credits happen, and then we had the after credits, which was a beautiful moment, right? They're both on the phone, and I love how she calls back to what happened earlier in the episode, but during the horror movie. And I love that even during this serious moment, these serious last moments, we're gonna get this little comedy bit to where she's scared in the bath and had to wash her hair with her eyes open and stuff. And she's talking to him, and again, she's talking about all the great experiences that they've had for the year, and he's completely agree. He's like, "Yeah, you've basically changed up my life for the last year. It's been amazing. I can't wait to do more with you." And he ends up falling asleep, and we get an end on her finally saying to Gojo, even though he was asleep, and I hate that, she's like, "I love you," right? And I was like, oh my god, yes, my heart. But the whole time I was like, man, maybe he heard it. Come on, Gojo, say it back. I would have loved right before she hit end call, that in that moment that he was also like, "I love you too," or "I love you," or just he whispered it or mumbled it. I thought that would have been absolutely just amazing of a moment to kind of have right there. Now, unfortunately, that moment didn't happen, but I was still very oh my god, I would have loved for that to happen. So that's basically the finale and the end, and kind of my thoughts there. Now, the rest of the episode, obviously, we have them sharing the moments with watching the horror movie together, spending that time together again, kind of having this moments that happen. Well, we get to find out more about Miran and what her side work is, that she's been doing work as a model, like an amateur model. She's featured in a magazine. She's trying to save up for her DSLR camera, which tells me that there is going to be another season coming of this, because there's more story to tell. And there's going to be, obviously there's more source material too, but there's more cosplays to come, but there's going to be another camera. So I have a pretty good feeling that there will be another season, especially because of this, rapid success that the anime has had. Typically, even if they weren't planning on maybe doing a season 2, because of all the success that the anime has had in these recent times, it's definitely going to get a season 2. It's not a if, it's a when. Now it might not be in a year or maybe 2 years, but in like a couple of years, I think that it will definitely end up happening for all of us. I think we can get super hype and excited about that when it does end up happening. So, that to me was that little hint there was like, okay, that tells me that there's a really good chance for a season 2 to occur and to happen for us. I was like, yes, awesome. Now, the last things I'll talk on for the last couple of minutes here is in just talking about the anime holistically, right? We talked on the finale. We talked on the after credits finale, and we talked about kind of the episode, with what happened with the horror movie, and then with them attending the festival and all that moment, which was a beautiful episode, and a lot of comedy, a lot of things that ended up being done during the episode. Now, the reason this anime is like a masterpiece and is so awesome and was a pleasure to absolutely watch is I talked a little bit already about kind of Gojo's realization. And him finally kind of like realizing, everything that occurred, everything that happened, everything that wouldn't have happened if he had met this person, right? And now who she is to him and what she means to him, etc., etc. And the reason that I love that realization, the reason that I love that in so many factors and things is because it grounds the anime in like a little bit of realism. And I think some of the best anime, especially when it comes to romance, is grounded in realism. And it has this realistic view, or point to it, to where you have this person who was very socially inept. He was very focused on his hobby and his future profession that he was doing before, and he was so focused on it that he became oblivious to the world. He never got to experience any of the world, and in a chance encounter with somebody and another chance encounter with somebody at same person in a specific scenario, that snowballed into a relationship that they have now. And I love that the characters are grounded enough to realize that themselves, of what wouldn't have happened if he had met this person, and then from the flip side for her, what wouldn't have happened for her if she hadn't met this person too, right? Because now, she gained confidence. She has somebody in her corner. She's able to enjoy her hobby more. She's able to share it with a specific person. She's able to share everything that she is with somebody else, while still maintaining her social aspect with her friends and going out and things like that. Doing the things that she was doing before, but there was a whole part of her that was just kept secret, or kind of like hold into her, because she tried to let it out, but nobody really got it, and now she has somebody to share that with. So it really is the two means of two people coming together and really completing each other, and I think that is gorgeous and that is beautiful, and those two things are exactly what My Dress Up Darling has been. So I just want to take this moment now to just kind of thank you all for chilling, being here with me all entire season, being here with me each and every week as we watch and review every single episode of My Dress Up Darling. It has been a fantastic pleasure of mine. I'm sad to see this anime go. We will be covering anything else My Dress Up Darling related here on the channel as we go forward, including news, any reactions, trailers, season 2 announcements, anything else that happens with My Dress Up Darling. Even if we hear it later on today, we will be covering it here on the channel. So make sure you guys stay connected. Make sure you guys leaving the final comment down in the comments down below on what your thoughts were for the season finale of My Dress Up Darling. And from me to you, we will see you guys in the spring season of 2022. Peace out.